Greetings, this is Oliver from Sporting Cubed, and today I'm going to be giving you 5 tips and tricks to get way faster at your first 2 blocks. Let's get right into it. My first tip is to use mismatch centers. So what I mean by this is that you do not use the regular center for your first block and second block. So here, it's the first square of your first block is pretty much done, except it's the wrong center. If you were to always try match up with the correct center, it would take a lot of moves. However, we can use this mismatching centers method to take advantage of this and pretend. So what we want to do is pretend that it's already a first square and solve it like normal, like solve the first block without caring about the center. So do that and then continue on with the second block and pretend like it's the right center. So do that. Except here, what you want to do is you put the first block center, in this case it would be the red center, you put it on top, and then what we want to do is we're gonna fix these centers. So by doing that, we would do a U wide, M prime, U wide prime. So, and as you can see, that solves the first block and second block. So I'm going to show another example of that trick. So as you can see, it's the pieces are like right here, and it's the wrong center. So we're going to solve the pair that goes right here, and the pieces are right there, and solve that. Now it's solved here. And now we're going to continue on to the second block, and normally what we want to do is have the color or the center that belongs here on top, but as you can see, that one's right here, so we cannot do that. So what you want to do is you do a U wide, and then you just do M2, and then U wide prime. As you can see, that solves the first 2 blocks. My next tip is to be more efficient in first 2 blocks. So in this case, we have the first block already done, and we just want to solve our last pair that goes here. And these are the pieces. And normally what people probably do is probably something like this. So they would bring this edge down here, and then they would move it over, and then just bring it down. So they bring the white sector down so they can solve it like this, and then you have to pair it up, move it out of the way to restore this square, and then insert. A much better solution for this case is to do an R wide, U2, R wide prime. And as you can see, that puts this edge in the bottom while making the white sticker not facing up. And then here we can just move it over like that, and then connect and insert the pair like this. Another case that a lot of people do inefficiently is when you have this paired up the wrong way, like the edge is flipped. What people usually do is triple sexy like this. But however, there is a much simpler solution. The more efficient way goes like this. So you do U2 to put this corner in the back like that, and then you do an R wide, U, R wide prime. And that flips this corner and puts this edge down the bottom. And then you move it over and do this insert. My next tip is to use Better Fingertricks. In a second, I will show you some examples of bad finger tricks followed by ones that are much better. My next tip is to use line block building. So line block building means that whenever you have a line like this, then you can make another line that goes like here with the other piece, and you do that by misaligning the D layer, either by doing that, so it moves over like that, or do this. And to make a line, what we want is something like this. So we can just attach this to the center, and now if we try to make the line over to here, then we break up that part. So instead what you have to do is you want to think, do you move it over towards you or away from you? So if you move it towards you, then you do that, that breaks this up. So that means you want to move it away from you. So there, then you can bring it down like that, and then do like connect it back again, and that's just solve your first square. You can also do this when you have full lines like this. So as you can see, all the edges are connected to their centers, to their center. And here you can see the line here is like that. And we could just do D2, but then we had to do more moves to solve this pair. So what we could do is, so the corner's here by the way, and we could just do something like this. R, U prime, R prime. That can solve this line, and then we just do it D2 like that. So I'm just gonna show a few examples of doing some line block building. So in this scramble, we have a line right here, and the edge is right there. So I'm gonna move this over, this edge over, so that I can do an F prime to solve that part. And so I'm gonna think to myself, do I move this line towards me or away from me? If I move it towards me and I do this, this is not on the bottom here anymore. So that means we have to move it away from us. So move it away, and now we can just insert it like that, and then realign. So in this scramble, we have a line right here in the green. And when I have like an edge connected to the center for a line, I always look at all the different possibilities that can be. What I mean by that is that I look to see if it's easier to do a green-yellow block or a green-white block. In here, the green-yellow block is not that good because it's flipped here. So I'm going to look at the green-white, and the pieces right here, and the corners right here. And it's much easier, so I'll probably do the green-white. And so here, what I would do is I move it over. So now this is green, and this is green, and that's white, and that's white. So now when I do an R2, that connects this line like that. And then now we can just move it over so it solves this square. In this scramble, we have a line on the orange-yellow block. And as you can see, the lines, we have both lines, and this line is incorrectly ordered. So if you just do an L2 to fix that, then you bring this up to the top, and we do not want that. So what you could do is move this line over, so that way you can fix this line. So once you do that, you can do an L2, do that, and then bring that line over, and then now we saw the first square. My fifth and final tip is to be X2 Y color neutral. That means that you can solve every single block that has either a white bottom or yellow bottom. So let's say that whenever you solve your first block, you always solve it with a blue with white bottom. And here, that block is not that great because this DL edge is flipped, so you'd probably have to do something like F prime and D prime, which is already 2 moves, and it's not really what you want. However, going back to the same scramble, you can see that the orange with yellow bottom block, in that the DL edge is already made and solved. So that makes it a lot more efficient than the blue with white bottom block. And here, you can solve one of the pairs with only 1 move. And it's this, so you can just do R wide, and then you can just insert, which is a lot more efficient. That's it for today's video, and thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy content like this, make sure to like and subscribe to Sporting Cube, as well as click that bell icon to be notified when we upload. See ya!